Hi everyone, I'm Caitlin James from Scalp MicroPigmentation Australia, and welcome to another 5-minute fast facts on Scalp Micropigmentation, the Pro Artist series, where we're interviewing some amazing scalp micropigmentation artists from around the world, getting their tips and tricks on how you can get the best out of your scalp micropigmentation transformation. Today we have a special treat for our listeners and viewers. We're not joined by just one but two scalp micropigmentation artists joining us on the show. What is more special about this duo is that they are actually mother and daughter. They work together and have successfully made a quality name for their business, their aesthetics and beauty business located in Newcastle in the UK, called Lasting Enhancements. Thank you. Thank you. Between them, they have won Rising Star for 2018. That was Danielle. For 2018, they actually won the Rising Star for Best Scalp Micropigmentation Artist with less than 2 years experience at the Team Micro Awards. And last year in 2019, they were nominated for UK Artist of the Year, as well as this year they were also nominated for the same award. So welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining in. I really appreciate it.
Nice to see you.
Lovely. All right. Well, Linda, how about you tell us a little bit about your business, where it exactly is located, and how did you both come to start working together?
Right, Caitlin. 28 years ago, I opened a beauty salon. It was all aspects of beauty, and we're based in a very small suburb of Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast. After that, in 1999, I decided to go and train in permanent makeup and did that. It was slow to start with, but then it was in those days. And then as I got better with it, more confident, I decided to go and train in medical in 2003. But I actually went over to America because at that time, I couldn't find anyone in England. And basically, I went over there, trained in medical, which came scar relaxation, camouflage, skin needling, but we also touched on scars and beard simulation all those years ago as well, on like burns victims.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on, got busy, and seriously, I was doing 8 to 10 treatments a day. And one day I just said, I'm shattered, I'm going to have to find someone. And Danielle, at the time, loved her job, but she said, I wonder if I could do something like that. And I just said, are you serious? She goes, yeah. So she always had a Friday off from her other job. So I says, right, come in, shadow me. So she shadowed me for a year, and I got her practicing. And then basically I sent her off and she did a diploma with finishing touches in 2012. And then on from there, I sent her to Brandwood, and she trained in SMP in 2017. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, the business has just grown. And although we're Lasting Enhancements, we decided when the SMP were getting more clients, we'd get them in sort of pockets at first, where now they're more regular. And anyway, I opened Scalp Northeast Limited, and the business is just growing. We're busy. It's going from strength to strength. And yeah, it's good. And the thing is, we work brilliantly together. Absolutely amazing together. Yeah.
Danielle, do you agree? What's it like?
Yeah, that's a little bit about our.
Do you know what it is? We've got a fantastic relationship. She likes everything done yesterday, and I'm a little bit more lax than that. But we don't argue. We get on fantastically well. To be honest, she works harder than I do. I've got the 2 little kids. While she's older, she actually works more hours than I work. But we get on brilliantly. But to be honest, we've got 2 separate rooms, so a lot of the time during the day, we're kind of not even really speaking to each other. Do you know what I mean? We're just busy. But for me, it must be so hard for people going into this kind of career on their own. See, for me, I've always had me mum, and I must admit, it's she's always there. So it's been brilliant for me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, to begin with, let's start with Linda. Could you explain visually the 2 main styles of hair transplant scars that we commonly see for scalp micropigmentation camouflage?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You can see FUT, which is the strip scar, and the it can either be a big smile line, it can be a thin smile line, it can be a short one, it can be thin, thick, it can be a double smile line, it can be just at the sides. You know, so look at it and weigh up and see how you can cope with that, which is great. You know, we've only had about 3 clients with the FUE with the dots, and they scattered all over, and a lot on the back of the head and some on the top of here. And they've come along. Actually, we've got to finish one off when we get back to work. So that is my take on it. But with the FUT, the strip, there's so many different sizes. There's good ones that's smooth and neat and thin, and then you've got the thick ones that are keloidy and bumpy and purple. I don't think you can ever get one the same, can you? You know, so that's my take on it. And like I say, the FUE, I've had somebody in who had them all across the back of his head, and up the side, even here, you know, at the front of the temples. So yeah, like I say, they can be thin, smooth, lumpy. The scars can look white, red, and sometimes purple. I find sometimes purple.
Yeah,
it just all depends on the person's skin as well, and probably the surgeon that did the hair transplant.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're lucky that FUT is sort of not as popular these days, especially for the younger clients. We are finding a lot more are going towards the FUE harvesting method.
Which is better.
There is a lot of FUT scars that are out there because it has been main practice, you know, since the early 90s. Yeah. All right. And Danielle, when you're treating an FUT scar, what are you looking for in the scar to show that it's ready to be camouflaged with scalp micropigmentation?
So the FUT scar, I mean, like you say, it all depends on the person of how the skin heals, what way it'll heal. Will it heal thin? Will it heal thicker? Again, that is a lot down to an individual's skin. But really what you're looking for, I mean, I think with those, with any type of scarring, but I think with that type of scarring, I mean, it's 12 months minimal healing time. So obviously I'm looking for how old the scar is. I'm also looking for kind of, you know, like you say, like how it looks, you know, the texture. Is it more keloidy? Is it, you know, is it kind of bumpy, or is it quite flat and smooth? And then obviously I'm looking for the colour, you know, if it's kind of white and pink, you're probably good to go, you know, you're probably good to treat. So yeah, kind of 3, I think how old, you know, the colour and kind of how it looks are kind of my 3 main top key things that I look for straight away.
Yeah, brilliant. And so, yeah, the 2 main types of harvesting methods are obviously the FUT strip scar and the FUE, the scattered little dot harvesting method. Linda, which donor scars do you feel are the easiest scars to camouflage?
Right, which donor scar? To be honest, I think the FUE is easier, but we tend to get more of the FUT scars. Because you can, they're so like the sporadical all over the head, where you can just sort of implant your pigment in there to replicate that hair follicle. And also
like a hair follicle.
And definitely that it's easier, and I think you get a really good result with it. Yeah, so definitely FUE.
So Danielle, with FUE scars, do you treat them through long hair, or you know, when we regrow diffused thinning donor area, do you feel like you prefer your clients to trim the hair back so you can treat all of the FUE scarring, or do you like to sort of treat throughout the thinning hair?
I mean, firstly, again, although we want people to go more down the FUE route, obviously, because it is a nicer route. I've worked on a few FUE scars, but like Linda said, or my mum said earlier, we do tend to get a lot of the strip scars that we work on at the minute. But I think with your SMP, you know, it does depend on, you know, obviously if their hair transplant's been more successful, then, you know, yeah, and there's just some areas that are a little bit patchy and things, then you can actually get away with the person wearing that hair that bit longer. You know, obviously they've had a hair transplant because they want a bit of length on their hair, you know. So I think if the hair transplant's been, you know, quite successful and there's just kind of small areas, then I have treated through longer hair. But if, you know, if obviously the hair transplant hasn't been very successful or not successful at all, basically, and it depends where the scarring obviously on the scalp is as well. In all fairness, I generally do think the shorter the hair, the better. You know, it's just easier to find kind of more of your colour selection. It's easier to conceal the scar. I find the shorter the hair, the blend is just always better. So I think my answer would be probably, the shorter the better, but it depends on how successful obviously the transplant has been and how well the hair looks.
Yeah, I do personally find also, you know, clipping the hair right back for camouflaging FUE means as a practitioner you're not going to miss any of the little harvesting scars too. So I agree with you. I feel clipping the hair down in the first instance, so you can make sure you don't miss anything, and then you know, it means that they can also clip down in future as well. So say if they do want to change their style with a fade haircut and have it closely clipped at the back, that, you know, you haven't missed anything there, and it gives them flexibility on choosing a hairstyle too.
I mean, we have done like density work on hair transplants, and you know, I mean, the results been okay, and that's what the clients wanted. You know, we certainly wouldn't do anything that we kind of don't agree with. But again, I agree with you. I just think sometimes that you know, the shorter, you know, you know, not all off, but I do think, you know, the shorter definitely the better. It makes our job easier, and it makes the result and them, you know, look better.
Yeah, absolutely. And they can always regrow their hair after the process.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm not sure who would like to answer the next question, but we're going to talk about preparing a scar for receiving scalp micropigmentation camouflage. Who would like to perhaps take that answer?
I think I looked at that, and obviously it was just again, on a scar on a scalp, I haven't actually had to, because obviously, as you know, we do other treatments, which is great, you know, because we don't have to then send, you know, somebody to get that preparation done. We can do it ourselves. But again, I must admit, fortunately, the scars I've worked on have been pretty okay and been pretty good. So I haven't prolonged the treatment. Plus, obviously, it comes down to cost. It costs them then more money as well. And so obviously, if I can get away with not preparing a scar, then I will do. But you know, I have definitely prepared scars. You know, I've done obviously cleft lip palette. So I've done acne scar, and I've done acne scarring with laser, because obviously we do laser. So you can obviously prepare scar tissue with laser. I mean, I know generally laser is kind of putting another scar on top of a scar, but obviously because it kind of repairs and regrows new skin cells, then obviously that scar, that new skin, is obviously then a better canvas to work on type of thing. So obviously we could offer laser to prepare a scar if needed. And also, I mean, on the cleft lip palette I just did skin needling, which is absolutely brilliant. I think skin needling or micro needling or whatever anybody wants to call it, it's just a fab way of really, you know, again, you're just causing a wound to the skin, but again, it's just creating all those new skin fibers, you know, and everything just kind of growing back, and it changes the scar, it flattens it, it changes the color of it. And I mean, the cleft palette I got away with, I thought I might have needed to do maybe a couple of skin needling beforehand. I did one. It was brilliant. So I think laser and skin needling, they kind of do the same thing, although the two very different procedures and treatments. But yeah, I think, you know, preparing a scar, that's the two things that we could offer. in our clinic because we're trained in that. And then obviously, you know, you've got your main one, which is, I suppose it's down to kind of any creams, you know. I mean, I don't know, we don't particularly advise any particular cream, to be honest. I mean, sometimes for post care we'll have the microbalm and things like that, but I think, you know, you hear people going, oh no, you can't use that, or you can't use this, but you know, there's loads of creams on the market, from down to your E45 cream, your vitamin E, your aloe vera, your coconut oil, you know, there's lots of different creams out there. But I just think, obviously, if you moisturize that area, massage and moisturize that area, obviously it hydrates the skin, you know, it's going to make the skin more supple, so obviously it's going to be ready then, obviously, to then tattoo. So, you know, there's a few different things I think you can kind of prepare the scarf for.
Yeah, perfect. And would one of you also like to perhaps take us through a favourite transformation story that you've really helped transform someone's life using scalp micropigmentation? Has someone got a great story?
I think you were going to about Karen.
We've got a few, but this one really, we went through all the motions with it, and she actually had 2 treatments done off us, Caitlin. Basically, a lady, she was 40 years old, went through about 6 operations, breast cancer, had her breast reconstructed, nearly died a couple of times. It was really low, which, you know, affected her hair. And basically, she caught
sorry, 1 second as well, just a bit about her story as well. I mean, because it does break your heart when people break down and talk to you, but you know, like, she got into, obviously, because she couldn't work through obviously our medical condition and, you know, this, that and the other, and she obviously got into quite like some financial debt. And I mean, her husband, even when she came and got the 2 treatments done off us, her husband was still working 2 jobs. Like, he had quite a good job, but then he was kind of doing pizza deliveries on a weekend just to kind of, obviously, you know, like, obviously just try and relieve some of that financial burden. And it breaks your heart because, you know, she couldn't work. It's not that she doesn't want to work, and she's working now, back to work now, but she couldn't work. And you know, it's not just the illness, is it? It's everything else that goes with it. And it was so sorry, ma'am, for interrupting.
But anyway, she just came to us. She rang me. Actually, it was an Easter weekend, and she rang me, and she was breaking her heart, and I spent an hour on the phone with her. Thank God I wasn't at work, because I probably would have said, I cannot stay on the phone this long. And she broke her heart, and she said, I see you do the areola tattooing. I goes, we do. She says, can I come and see you? Anyway, long story short, she came to see us, poured her heart, and actually it really, my heart's going now. Anyway, and she said, I'm thinking about having my scalp done. I says, areola we did for nothing, you know, which that's what we offer. Anyway, we did a scalp micropigmentation, and she came 3 times. And honestly, Caitlin, she actually calls us our guardian angels from heaven. And now Karen, she keeps in touch, and basically she's got boobs. She's unique again, and she's got a scalp micropigmentation, and she's living her life to the full. She really is. And honestly, just this person broke our hearts, you know, but she's good. She's very good now. So that's I think that's the one that touched our hearts really big time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big story. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much for spending a little bit of time chatting with us today. Thanks for being on the 5-Minute Fast Facts Scalp Micropigmentation Pro Artist Series. Hopefully someone out there who's got a scar, perhaps from a surgical procedure or a transplant, has learned something today on how to camouflage the scar using SMP. So thank you so much, ladies.
Oh, it's been a breath of fresh air. I feel like I've done a little bit of work, a minuscule little bit of work.
And we'll see you at Meeting of the Minds next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
No
you
worries.
take care. Be safe. Bye.
Thank you. And if you have any questions or comments, we want to hear from you. So as always, don't be shy. Give us a call or an email. Pop something in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of the updates as we release latest content. Thanks so much for watching. We hope to see you soon.
Lovely.
Thank you,
Take
ladies.
care. Bye-bye. Keep safe.
Bye.
Bye.